everyone. Thank you so much and welcome back. It's always wonderful to connect with you. You know how we like to start. If you haven't already made your wish, please go ahead, close your eyes and do so. All right, fantastic. I made my wish. You guys, as I always say in all of my videos, don't stop wishing, hoping, dreaming. Dreams are coming true every single day. It's all up to you and the energy you put behind it. Again, welcome back. This is the channel, you guys. We've got it all mental health, movement, motivation. We check in, we go to the park, all that good stuff. And it's going to be a fantastic summer season coming up. If you're loving what I'm doing, please make sure that you do subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends. I want to dive right into this content. It's been on my heart for quite some time to deal with this topic head on and straight up. So let's get into it. Today, I want to share an empowering message with you about moving out of a haunted life into a healed life, putting the past solidly and firmly behind you so you can manifest all the magnificence and glory that you came here to create. It's interesting. I was recently having a conversation with a gentleman, very successful, couple kids, accomplished on so many levels, have done a tremendous amount of growth work. There's professional work we do, but then there's that deep personal work, and he's certainly done a lot of that. And he said to me, there's an area, Sheila, I feel like I've really rolled up my sleeve. I've come so far, but there's something that continues to just haunt me and just dog me and say, what is it? What's going on? And he said, I feel like there's pieces of my past that keep coming up, and it's kind of interrupting the flow that I have in my life now. There's things that I'm not able to reconcile, you know, things that I've done, things that I've said, and it's no one calling me up, no one's writing me letters or ringing my phone. I'm doing this to myself. And I immediately stopped him because what I knew where he was going with this, not because I'm psychic or anything like that. It's literally because I've lived it. I've lived in that space where you're in this yummy situation. You acknowledge, I've changed my growth. You have the ownership of that. And then there's these past issues, memories come up, things, regrets, shame, what have you, that just cuts into that. And it became such a problem for me that I had to go deeper. And I said, okay, I've done all this work, I've done all this healing. Why does this keep coming up? Why does it keep coming up? And I'm just going to share with you guys point blank why I feel it keeps coming up for many people, why it kept coming up for me. And it's just kind of straight between the eye. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did and what I continue to do to, let's just say, keep those hauntings in check, because I want, and as much as I can, no one's life is perfect, but when I talk to God and when I pray, one of my heartfelt prayers is truly, because my past was so challenging and various different obstacles that I feel like I've blood, sweat, and tears to overcome that. I just want to make the best of whatever God given allotment of time I have. So if things keep coming up, like you're trying to sleep and someone is throwing pebbles at your window, that's an issue. So I want to tell you what has helped me tremendously. And what I came to um, over the years about the mind, the interplay between the mind and spirituality and all this stuff. The same thing that makes your mind this amazing blessing is also the very thing that can make it a curse. It's more or less a double-edged sword. The mind is very easily programmed, and we do so much unconscious programming, we're not even aware. A lot of times, a thought may come in, and just because a thought comes in, it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and think it. And it's like a ship comes by, you can just let it pass by. Okay, I do see a ship. Or you can get on, give them your ticket, get on, go to the buffet, cruise around the seven seas. So what I'm getting at here is we have a tremendous amount of choice in and how we choose to program our mind or not program our mind. Because if you leave it more or less kind of a rogue situation, kind of whatever comes in, you're literally going to be miserable a lot of the time if you're haunted or bothered by things in your past. And this is where this the spiritual aspect overlays all of this. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, I completely respect it. I can only share based on a couple different aspects: my personal experience, over 25 years of research, and the work I've done with hundreds and thousands of people in this area. My work has me positioned. There's the clinical aspect of the work, there's the spiritual aspect, and then there's the reality that kind of brings everything together. And you guys, for me, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are things that can occur in your past, over the trajectory of your specific evolution, that, call it what you want: evil spirits, negativity, Satan, familiar spirits, what have you. Uh, you did not experience all of that alone. Sometimes I had this woman, she came to me, she was like, oh, yeah, this um, psychic, she told me every this stuff happened when I was 6 years old. Oh my God, how could she have known? How did she know that? And are psychics real? Yes, they are. I view those abilities. It's a gift from God or from hell, depending on how you use it. Because people will say, "Oh, prophecy is that's acceptable," but the psychics are not really. They're one and the same. It depends on how it's used. And I said to this person, well, they didn't know it. It was the familiar spirits who translate that information, if you will, because it was just so specific and so detailed. So there are people who have just very extensive, intricate cords of connection, and that information is there and readily available because it's been recorded. That's a whole nother topic. But all that to say, that information, just as your most brilliant, amazing moments that you've had in your life, just as those can be used to bring you such joy. A friend may say to you, I cannot believe it was just so stunning what I saw you do last year, or I'm so proud of when I watch you, how you are with your children, or these various accolades and high moments we have in life, just as those can be used and recorded to bring you great joy. The low moments, the transgressions, the shame, the regret, the moment of anger, the moment that you were weak, the time you did something that you just pray, I hope no one ever finds out about this. So those moments can also be used by negativity, evil, call it what you want, but that can be used and is used to torture a great many people. I cannot tell you how many folks I've sat with over the years, and they just stunning lives, beautiful children, travel, whatever. I mean, you name it. Their heart's desires, they've completed the picture that they set in their mind, if you will, in great relationships, planning a wedding, or Sheila, I never even wanted to get married. I'm just living the life I wanted to live. I opened a candy store. They have all of this, but then right next to it, they're literally haunted by moments of the past that have nothing to do with what is going on in the present day. And people describe things to me like full on periods of, it could last a couple weeks or a month or a year. They're in a funk, they're in a haze, they feel guilt ridden, they feel rejected, and it will not have anything to do with what is going on in the present day at this moment of life. And so guys, again, that really is a classic emotional haunting. And I want to get into specifically what you can do. I share a lot of my techniques because they've transformed my life, and I feel if you, this is a plug and play channel, they could certainly help you too. So going back to how the mind works, you have a lot of power in just how you program your thoughts. So for myself, I realized there were some things in my past, and in the great words of Oprah Winfrey, when you know better, you do better. There were just some stupid moments, stupid things I did, stupid things I said, and they just kept coming up. And I'm like, I'm so far past this. Why does this keep, just hurting me and popping up? And you know what I did? This is like a hack for your mind. It's so powerful because when you think, consider this, you're not thinking in words or sentences. We think in terms of imagery and feelings. The imagery, each thought evokes a certain emotion. It just try, I'll say a couple words to you. Ice cream, chocolate ice cream. And now I'll say to you, a dark, lonely road at night. Each visual evokes a different set of feelings. It's how we're wired, and it's fantastic. But if you don't know how to use that gift, the equipment of use, so to speak, that can also be very dangerous in someone who basically hasn't read the owner's manual of themselves. So once I really got a handle on this, I said, wow, I think this can really work to my advantage. The fact that I can put images in simultaneously when all this garbage from the past is coming up. I can put an empowering image right next to it, and I could feel totally different. And it's exactly what I did. When I cut this video up and edit it, I'm going to put in the image that I use in my mind. I'm going to get as close as possible I can get using video to just show you. And the image I have is literally of a woman running a race, like a marathon, and she is just in full stride and full victory, crossing that finish line of victory and glory, the same way you would see in the Olympics. And what I started to do when those trash thought moments, hauntings would come up, I would just immediately see myself as this, running a race, like this amazing sprinter, and just coming across that finish line in all my glory, coming in first place. And I'm telling you, that visual was cued with, lady, you've overcome that. And it was always just like a 2 or 3 second prayer. Thank you, God, for bringing me as far as you have. I've certainly overcome that. And I just kept pairing them together, pairing them together. And then all of a sudden I noticed, wow, I'm not having this trash to pop up. And when it does, I have a quick mechanism to deal with it, and it literally shifts my mood. You don't have to use the same visual that I did. Pick your own, but it's really, really super, super, it's powerful, guys. It really is when you get into the innards of all these tools we have with thought, imagination, all these different exercises we can do. So the second thing that I do is, most of you who've ever, if you're in any type of work setting, whether it's corporate or you're a teacher, there's some type of mechanism where you are clear. You have kind of a performance review. You know where you stand, and those are very valuable because you know where your strong points are, your victories, and you know where you need to improve. There is nothing that says you cannot put some type of performance review in place for yourself. Let me just give you an idea of how I do it. Um, every once in a while, I journal frequently, but I would say probably, I don't know, 5, 6 times a year. I make it a point, about 40 minutes to an hour, and I will sit and do a journal entry. And it is specifically just looking at kind of where I've been, the things I'm most proud of, the things I've overcome, where I'm at, and where I want to go in the future. So it's really just a kind of a quiet time. I'm looking at my past, present, and future. It's nice to do. I don't make that a whole thing about self-judgment. It's just it's reality based. Some of it feels great, super positive. Some of it is like, I really still have to work on that. But the point is, get in front of it, guys. Get in front of it. If you don't put something in place, and these hauntings and these rogue memories and emotions, they will run up on you. And that's what happens to a lot of people. It runs up on you, and then you lose momentum. I lived it. You're doing great, everything's great, and then bam, this energy will hit you. It'll come up, and it's like, Jesus, here we go again. Whereas if you have the mechanism in, this is how I roll, this is how I work with myself. Nothing's rolling up on me. I've dealt with that. I've processed that. I know where I stand with this, that, and the other. This is called accountability and responsibility for your life and for your mental health and how you move and how you flow. There's people, and I'm not going to say any names, but I could say a lot of names, on world platforms, national platforms. You can see it's just as clear as the nose on my face that there has been no level of investment in self introspection, sitting with yourself. I say to everyone, including myself, even if you work on yourself just a little bit, that's the same as money in the bank. That pays you back. There are people out here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 years, has never sat down once with him or herself. Why am I doing what I'm doing? How does my attitude and energy impact other people? What Why do I behave in this way when this happens? Could there be something I can improve on my part? Basic, simple questions and interventions that could change your trajectory of an entire life, of an entire family, and never sitting down to look at yourself. Like, I've seen this, and then people wake up and wonder, oh my God, my life is in chaos. Why is this happening to me? You never took any time. You don't have to devote your whole time to it, but just a little time to think, what is my impact on myself? Like, how am I tending to myself? How do I show up in the world? And how am I dealing with other people? This is huge, guys. I mean, to me, it's the underbelly, the innards of life. I mean, there's the car, whatever you drive, uh, BMW, Toyota, Mercedes, Volvo, whatever, all the cars. I love cars. But then there's what's underneath the engine is what it makes it run. It's what's underneath the engine. So third, sacred space. Create some sacred space around your growth. So many of you know I host a transformational retreats throughout the year. In addition to that, I also make it a point once or twice a year to just go somewhere solo, even if it's just for a day. And that's really a sacred space day where I have my own ritual to honor the sojourn, to honor my truth walk, to honor the little girl who became a teenager, who became a young adult, who became a full-fledged woman, who became this transformational uh, person who not only helped herself is helping other people. I take some time to ritualistically honor that. What your ritual looks like is up to you. Incense, whatever, you can go on a nature walk, but we're not, everything goes so fast and is so laissez-faire. We don't put the sacred space around our growth. Those are your personal growth is as valuable as walking across the stage at Yale or Harvard. Okay, yet we don't have the formal ceremonies for that. What I'm inviting you to is create formal ritual around your growth. You don't need to go out and hit a ticker tape parade or something like this, but do something to honor these deep pockets of growth that are so really spectacular. So the bottom line at the end of the day, to kind of bring everything full circle, hauntings, being haunted ultimately is a choice. I'm not saying that it's not work to kind of roll up your sleeves and put the pieces together to push that energy off of you and funnel that energy. There's always going to be work involved, but you know what? Anything that comes easy is rarely worth it. It's good work, it's righteous work, and it's just work that pays you back. And like any good work, then you get these moments where you're sitting on that mountaintop or you're sitting poolside, sipping the pina colada, whatever the case may be. That's why we roll up our sleeves and do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. And a final note on this rogue energy that you hear me speak of in so many of my videos. I can't. I if you gave me 2 weeks straight to talk about this stuff, I would not be able to emphasize and stress enough what thugs, rogue energy, thieves in the night, set on one goal, you guys, one goal, and that is to kill, steal, and destroy your sanity, your dreams, your family. That energy and force is just as real um, as the manifested hand of God. And it's running rampant. If you don't make a conscious decision, not like, oh, I wake up in the morning, is it going to be 60 or 70? No. Let me check the weather forecast. Today, I'm going to need an umbrella, rain boots. I'm talking about being proactive, getting in front of this. If you don't make a decision to do that, It's the same as living in a fabulous neighborhood, leaving your door wide open with a sign posted out front. Come in, take all my goods. The valuables are in the safe upstairs. There is literally no difference. You leave yourself wide open. You leave yourself wide open. This is it's running rampant. So thank you, Lord, that we came down here with tools within ourselves. There's power in setting your mind. There's power in prayer. There's power in making decisions of who you're going to have in your life. There's power in clearing that toxicity from your life. But you have to get up and take responsibility. Take responsibility for your life. No one's going to do that for you. You know, I went, hey, guys, I wrote a book. They're not coming. They ain't coming. It's deeply personal work that we do for ourselves. So I could go on, but I will be back later this week with some more great content for you. Again, if you're loving what I'm doing, please do subscribe, you guys. I'll see you soon.